like to be John Aleche. Giants 0-2.
I think he knew it was coming. He knew it was coming.
One thing about sports, what comes around goes around.
Coming to you live on the Government Access Channel from Mario Bagnoni Chambers in beautiful downtown Erie. It's the Taxpayers Hotline Show with your hosts, Kaz Kwiatkowski and John Steiner.
There's that voice from...
There's you and me.
Hey, and there's that voice from Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah, that sounds better, doesn't it?
Let's watch Mikey work his magic here. Boom.
He's lining us up.
He is. Well, I tell you, he's technician of the year. Don't do no close-ups.
What do you think?
You don't scare everybody away. We don't want no close-ups around.
Yeah, well, we have a face that was
Made for radio.
there. You have it.
Absolutely.
You knew the joke.
You know, I've heard you say it. Actually, it's pretty funny, but it's kind of true. It's pretty sad. So how you been, Kaz?
I've been good. So John Steiner, my good friend.
And my buddy Kaz here, city councilman, and all kinds of stuff going on.
Hey,
Kaz, we
we've
haven't
had
been
a couple
on the air
weeks
like a
off.
month.
So we're primed.
It's like a month. We got so much to talk about.
Well, we had some holidays, and I had business, so we'll go away.
Yeah, you had the family. How's that? How's the fam going?
Doing great.
So where'd you go? Minnesota, Mississippi?
Ooh,
You got,
no, Chicago area.
oh, I mean, you have family in every state that begins with an M. Even Maine. You have to like a
No, that's not true.
You don't have a
It used to
second
be
cousin in
Minnesota.
Maine. Minnesota, Mississippi.
No, it's now Illinois.
Oh, Illinois is in a loop now.
Well, there's no Minnesota no more.
Oh, Minnesota's out.
Well, the Minnesota one moved to Illinois
Oh, I see.
and Mississippi. But I don't know how you make P out of M.
I don't. Yeah, well, you know, every
That's
time
like
we
my
use.
son's in the P state.
Oh, okay. Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have one son in the P.
The second state admitted to the union.
I believe it.
What was the first state?
Hold on, you didn't even let me answer.
What? You only have 2 seconds.
New York, Massachusetts.
Caller, you ready?
Yeah, we got a caller on the air already. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, hi. I'm calling about what kind of services the city has for the homeless population.
What kind of what?
Services. Well, they have
The city doesn't.
the city doesn't do it, but more of a
That's a county and a
non-profit.
yeah. We act as a funding source if there's any government funds available, but the mission of the city is not to take care of the poor. That is a county function under state law. They provide social services along with the private sector or the nonprofit sector.
Yeah, the city's in charge of the basic maintenance of the
Yeah.
city.
And that's the way that it's been set
plowing
up.
garbage, where the
And I've noticed downtown there's a lot of homeless people that they've been going to the bathroom outside,
Yeah.
exposure, and that's the sex offense. And no one's stopping this or from this going on. No one's the cops aren't stopping this.
Well, I can't order them to do it. I mean, I find it disgusting.
I think because children see this,
Yes.
and as a city, we're not protecting the children.
But every time the council reacts in a way to curb such things, everybody gets mad at us. When in fact you can't have that. No, I mean, look, I've been around a few years, and there's always been poor people amongst us and people that with needs. I can truly say I've never seen it like it is today, where
See it all the time downtown, and homeless people going to the bathroom outside, exposing themselves. That's a sex offense under Pennsylvania law. Cops do nothing about this. They're not protecting the children. The city's not protecting the children.
I mean, I'll register your complaint. I know it's been registered before. We had one councilwoman wants to put public restrooms in, but I've been to a lot of cities, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
And in major cities, I remember I was at the Philadelphia Library one morning doing some work, and we were there first thing it opened up in the morning, and there were lines and lines and lines of homeless people waiting. They used the bathroom, they would take a shower in the sink.
That's fantastic. Is the city going to have that kind of program to stop people from going to the bathroom outside?
Well, it's up to, like I say, I will bring it up to the what do you call it, chief of police,
But then, but then again, it's,
It's a sex offense.
if you're gonna use that at the Philadelphia situation as a,
Right, it's deemed legally indecent exposure. Disgusting.
well, I'm sure if they actually saw him doing it, they would pull over and address the situation, but unless you catch them or actually doing
Look at the
it.
problem we're having on 22nd and Wayne now.
Yeah, there's a big problem up there.
I mean, people are doing people's driveways.
Yeah.
They're on camera,
Yeah. And there's just, those are just sprouting up all over the city. I think maybe you guys need to tighten up the whole bottle club situation.
I can tell you this, I used to
Do something to a child because this is going to escalate.
I used to work at the parking authority, and people would do it inside our facilities.
That's disgusting.
And-
That's still a sex offense.
And I would say something about it because I wouldn't accept it,
Yeah.
So indecent exposure is a sex offense in Pennsylvania, and the cops aren't doing nothing about it.
Yep, I'll bring it up to them, okay?
All right, thanks for calling. We got to get 5 minutes today. We've been getting yelled at.
Yeah, we did get yelled at.
Yeah, have a good day.
Okay.
I got yelled at pretty, not
Yeah,
bad.
I know.
Somebody brought up about they brought up on the old days we had that, public restroom. But there were reasons why they got closed.
Well, what happens is they go in there and shoot up drugs, and then you find a dead body in there.
Well, you got numerous businesses that have not earned reputation, but because they're a little bit more liberal in allowing people to use their restroom facilities,
Yeah.
now get tagged with a problem.
And McDonald's is one place. I mean, I'm afraid to go into McDonald's. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
I've got a couple of things for that little guy next to you.
Hey, John, okay, hold on one second. Ready, John?
Moment of silence.
Moment of silence for the New York Giants. Okay, John.
You'll have your prayers tonight.
Maybe not, John.
I have a couple of things. First of all, I went down to pay my taxes, and the parking authority's chief was down there, and all the other ones. I had to walk a block and a half to pay the city my school taxes.
What do you mean, who was downtown here?
Well, it looked like the Parks Department supervisor was down there parking out where the customers can get parked. And the parking spaces that are supposed to be for citizens to pay their taxes.
Well, I tell you what, John, I think that when there's a new, how do I put this in a nice way?
Just forget about it because
No,
they're
no.
going to ignore it anyway.
No, when there's a new change of guard, there's going to be a suggestion made that, especially during tax season, that we make an effort not to do that because,
All over. You go in the back lot, all the police cars are parked in, the handicap spots and everything else.
I agree, and I think,
Has to have a hardship to pay their damn taxes.
I think the appropriate person, I'm trying not to be,
I called Moss and I told him forget about Rainbow Joe.
no, I'm saying as the person that would be, I'm trying to be diplomatic about this.
Call the chief of police and have him address it.
No, the person that's call me off the air, okay?
They should just have like 5
Okay,
minutes.
let's go to, we have signs again on 38th Street
I'm showing
between,
John what I'm after, but this person
between State.
needs to say something.
There's all kinds of signs. They were on State Street, but they disappeared.
What's that?
Signs in the city right away.
Yard signs?
With all the various fairs, they put them down in that corner by Glenwood Park Avenue, and it's
Yeah.
like hell.
Are you talking political signs, John?
No, he's talking about all the ethnic fairs.
Talking about
oh.
various festivals.
Okay, yeah. Well, you're not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to be in the boulevard.
Well, what they're supposed to be and what the city enforces is another thing.
Well,
Yes,
you know that
sometimes
the
it's
Glenwood
sometimes.
Association used to stop that, but I guess they don't care anymore.
Well, this is down by the zoo.
Yeah, but I think, I'm not sure, John, but I think that hill technically belongs to the Glenwood Association.
I have no idea.
Because I remember when we were kids, there used to be, there's signs down there that you're entering the area.
True.
So I don't know how far it legally goes for them. I don't think that's a city there.
It's out on the city right away.
Probably, and they could do that, but You would think the Glenwood Association would get a little,
I think the Glenwood Association has gone to powder.
maybe that's the case, because I can tell you, years ago, you couldn't even put political signs up there.
Oh, that's true.
I can't afford to be in the Glenwood
Okay,
Association.
let's go on. I'm getting close
He's on
to
a
my
roll.
element of time, and
Oh, that's okay. I'm going to tell you this, though. On your first issue, call me. I will call you and tell you what I think can happen. You know, to solve that.
yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
All right, now let's go to the parking authority only giving X amount of dollars.
Yeah, I made a call to Kevin Flowers about that the other day. When I came home, I read the newspaper article, and I got to tell you, it's wrong.
Really?
Yes,
Good.
it's right, but it's wrong.
What's it?
I'll explain to you. Go ahead, John.
Okay, and another thing, how can we have a consultant that is collecting X amount of dollars tell the city they should increase the fine from $25 to $100
Oh,
after?
wait a minute. Okay, John, I'll explain it. You want, first go back to the parking authority. What was your problem with them?
Well, there was no problem with that.
Yeah.
The problem with that is they were giving so much money every year, and all of a sudden now the mayor says it's cutting out of his budget. Well, that was never budgeted money.
Well, yes, here's the problem, John.
That was like a donation.
Well, no, John, there was a contract that existed for a number of years, okay?
Okay.
Last year, the mayor and, to my understanding, the mayor and the parking authority were negotiating it. And, I think we received, I'd have to check to be exact, but I think we received half of what we normally got. And they were still negotiating this year. However, in the budget, and we don't make the budget, remember, in the budget, 500,000 was put in as a revenue line. That means council has an expectation that we are going to receive pretty close to 500,000. In the past, it was always a written contract. There is no contract that exists now. The administration and the parking authority could not come to a resolution. The council liaison, which is me, had been on them all year about trying to find out what the hell was going on, where the money was, because council is now faced with a $500,000 shortfall. A little bit less because they gave us $75,000. It was reported in the paper that that's about next year. No, it's not about 2020. The 500,000 was for 2019. The 75,000 that we received is received in this 2019 budget. So this year we're short 425,000 net.
That's it.
Huh?
That's it. I'm joking.
Yeah, but next year, there's no promise for any money. So what irritated me and some members of council was that figure was put in the budget as a budgeted revenue item, John.
Well, it shouldn't have been.
No, well, not if you don't have an expectation that you were gonna collect it. Now, there was no contract, and we are not part of the negotiations, the administration is. And here we are into September, and it took that long for them to notify us that, you know, they're gonna give us 75. And I can tell you, there was a lot of pressure put on them. I personally withheld, along with council, one of their checks, because I wanted to bring this to a head, and now we have a $425,000 shortfall. No matter how we end up the end of the year, that's
What do we do?
$425,000 that we were planning on.
They were the only authority that actually gave back to the city.
Well, we get in-kind from the housing authority, which pays for a couple of police officers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but they're working in their areas.
yes, but you gotta remember, there's a lot involved in this about, in-kind services we provide. There were negotiations over the years about a parking tax, which we're not allowed to charge them, okay? Things like that, but it was an agreed upon contract, you know, in the past. It didn't get done, but the problem was it was put into the budget. Now it's not there. And Kevin, I talked to him about, you know, it's really about this year, not next year.
So what are you gonna do about it?
Well, we're short, nothing you can do.
Right.
You know, you entered the year thinking, you know, you should never, only things that you have an expectation of receiving. Like, we know taxes, we're not gonna get 100% of the taxes, but we know we collect 92% of them, year in and year out. That we know.
Right.
So we plan on that, but a lot of the grants and everything, you know, if they're put in there, it's with an expectation that we're gonna get it,
Yeah.
or close to it.
It's just
But I can tell you this, 75 is not close to 500.
no, it's not even, what is it?
Does that answer your question, John?
That answers some of it, but
Okay,
you know,
and about the $100, because we have 2.7 million, uncollected fines, or a little bit more, from past years, another, you know, once again, as liaison to that department, I recommended we look into it. Council went along. We are hiring a collection agency, and it was suggested that numerous cities of our size, Harrisburg, Reading, if you keep the fines the way they are, what we're saying is if you pay your fine, it's gonna be okay. But if you don't pay it, and you let it lag 30 or 60 or 90 days, it's gonna go up to $100. That's gonna grab your attention, and you're gonna get now approached. We haven't done that, John. Meanwhile, $2.7 million is out there, and
When you do that.
guess who has to make up that shortfall?
Yeah, all of it.
whose fault is that really?
It's ours, John. Let's face it. The parking authority issues tickets. They're not in charge of collecting. Okay? That provision is done here at City Hall.
And do we keep the revenue from the tickets? Does the city?
The percentage, I believe.
Let's see. I think we get all the,
Ticket revenue?
I think we do. Not the moving one. Moving ones are different. That's a state function.
Yeah.
Parking tickets are different, but here's the thing. We haven't done a good job, and we're 2.7 million out there. You know, we had the garbage bills, we took care of that. We're gonna take care of this. These are things that, hey, John, if you break the law and you don't pay your parking ticket, and it goes up to $100, whose fault is that?
Well, the bad thing about,
That'll get your attention, because you let it lag for,
even if you raise the money of a parking ticket, you don't know how to budget that because you don't know what type of revenue it'll generate.
no, so what we do, we put a very conservative figure in there.
Yeah,
But look, we don't plan on making money from tickets, but when you get a ticket,
yeah.
you know, do not pay it.
I mean, why? I mean, that's like 15-17% of what they usually pay, 500 something thousand to 75. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's insulting
What's that?
that they only come back with that type of readjusted payment. It's like they're doing you a favor. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I was sick to my stomach when I read that.
You? I got
Yeah, I know you're the liaison too. That makes it even worse. Go ahead, John.
Well, you know, when Ray was running that traffic division, none of that ever occurred.
Yeah, that didn't, but the uncollected parking tickets has been a problem around here for a number of years. And it was suggested the only way to get attention is not to give out amnesty and not to, we're gonna have a one-time thing. You pay your parking tickets, and, we're not gonna waive the fees, but you pay it and there's no additional ones. But, if you don't pay your ticket and you ignore it, it's gonna be like other cities. You're gonna go up to $100, and if you get booted or towed, you have only yourself to
I
blame.
think we need to invest in more boots.
We have more boots.
The boot gets people,
We have more.
boots them in the butt to get down here and pay.
I think we have more, and I think we got 2 guys doing it.
Oh,
But the job, we're not doing this as a moneymaker.
no, you don't do this. You just have to get people to pay. But to lose the basically $500,000, they'll just come in and say, we're not paying you
Yeah,
anymore.
that hurt.
That's ludicrous.
That
That's
did hurt.
ridiculous. I mean, something needs to be, all these authorities, they come here and they want you guys to bankroll their bonds and this and that. It's time to start playing hardball with some of these guys because they're taking advantage of the situation. They're all lining their pockets with it.
Oh,
And
here's
they're
what
all, and everybody in the city has to pay for their BS.
Here's what got me mad. If you knew there was gonna be a problem, and I understand they got their problems.
What?
You should have approached council.
What's their problem?
Well,
They upgrade. They're upgrading, so
but I'm
so
saying,
they have the money.
if there was an issue, they talked to the mayor, but council didn't know none of this,
Yeah.
and because of that, they didn't talk to their liaison, they didn't talk to us.
You didn't even know about it, and you're at the meetings.
And then, you know, now we're, here we are sitting here, and, you know, we're,
Yeah, left holding the bag, like, what do we do now?
would've been nice to know this in March,
Yeah, really.
as a council, you know, we're the ones that, you know, you know, the trouble in this town is, with our type of government, everybody talks to the mayor, but nobody talks to council.
No, they don't have to.
They don't teach political science in school any longer,
Yeah, I mean, you guys are always the last to know everything.
and yet who has to pass
Well, that's
everything?
because back in the day, that's the way it worked.
But who has to pass everything?
Yeah, well, it passed, everything used to pass easily, remember?
Yep.
The good old days.
Everything okay, John?
Yeah, that's great. I'll talk to you later.
But we're not doing it to be spiteful, John, just to get their attention.
Well, in my opinion, I think you should disband all the authorities and let the city take over and run it.
I'll tell you what, if things get bad, that you may see that happen.
Thanks for calling, John. We'll talk about it.
The only problem is
further.
we gotta assume their debt now, you know.
See, that's the problem. You assume their debt.
Yeah.
And, in my opinion, all authorities were created to put a buffer zone between elected officials and, the taxpayers in order to
You know, it seems like,
raise, when you would start the water authority. I remember when, correct me if I'm wrong, but when Joyce was mayor, they had to do all that reconstruction and put those
Yeah.
new pipes in. And if, you know, as a mayor and you're raising taxes to pay for water, just, you know, most people don't even pay attention as to why they're raising taxes or if it's needed. You just see the headline tax hike expected.
well, you know,
And that could cost certain people an election.
the trouble with authorities now are, look, I know they're independent, and they should be, okay?
Yeah,
But they need to have dialogue with the government agency, so we know what the hell's going on, you know?
hold on a second, caller. The main reason for an authority is for them to get grants and to find other sources
And to
of
do things
funding.
that we wouldn't do, like raise parking
And
fees.
it would save money, because if you save an employee, like we have, if they're in the union and if their pension, their health insurance, all that costs extra money. So if an authority hires somebody, they don't have to offer the same payroll.
Some do,
pensions.
though.
Some do, but they don't have to.
Right.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah.
Go ahead, caller.
Okay, miss you guys. You know what you need is like a best of Taxpayers Hotline. Because those reruns for 2 weeks get a little long.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we had a problem. One day was a holiday, and last week, unfortunately, I was out of town, and John.
Yeah, I was expected to be here, but I had guests pull out on me at the last second, so I'm like, I don't want to go on there and talk about
Yeah, I don't like replays either, so.
Yeah.
Pull out an old Mario and, what was that, Braybender?
Or,
Oh, that was Randy
Randy Barnes.
No, Randy Brewer.
Put the Randy Brewer, yeah. Put on the old shows with when Jim Thompson and
But
Ian
you know what I
Murray,
think the problem is?
when the casino situation.
I think they're on cassette, and I don't think we can play them no more.
The cassettes.
I think
nice.
they're VHS, right?
VHS.
I don't think we can play
Mike,
them.
do we have old shows, Mike?
We do.
That we could actually put up there?
We do. They're back there. I saw them.
I don't know. He's back there. I don't know. Is he back there?
Yeah.
But,
Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
No, even way before, Randy Brewer, there was, I think it was Mario and Braybender would come on.
You know, you might be. I don't remember it that far
Do you
back.
have old
but-
shows?
I remember because I called him. I made a joke about that old boat down there,
Oh, you mean the People's Niagara?
by the water building down there.
Yeah, that old
Did
rowboat.
you hear a suggestion?
Yeah, that old rowboat.
The best one I ever saw was when Randy Brewer dressed up like our mayor,
Yeah.
and they did a comedy skit, and Mario couldn't keep a straight face. That one I'm trying to find.
It was good to watch Mario flip out, and then when Ian Murray and Jim Thompson, when the whole casino show
Yeah.
was going on, those were always those were fiery shows. A lot of shows, they used to be a lot more fiery, but
Yeah.
Kaz and I are pretty mellow, but those guys used to get a little fired up.
I asked Mario because I wonder if that old boat is going to go away and we'll be with it or something. He started laughing. He says, "Oh, don't worry, we all go away."
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to remember if that thing is still there. It might be hidden behind some grass or something.
Where at?
That boat's still there. As far as I'm gonna have to take another look. I think it's still there.
Well, I don't look for it like well, it used to be more prominent. They kind of shuffled it off somewhere. But I think it's, you never seen it?
What?
It's a rowboat that has the People's Niagara painted on it.
Where at?
That was right near where was it, sir? Near the water?
Right by the parking lot where the what's the fisherman guys? The Sons of Lake Erie
Yeah. Yeah, it used to be right out, you could see it. It was right out there.
parking lot, and it's right where you have that little back entrance to all the docks and all that.
And they put People's Niagara on there.
Yeah, it's northwest of the water building where the big pump is. Go across the road, and it's northwest.
If I see it there again, I'm gonna take a picture for you.
Okay.
I think they couldn't take it away because it was on somebody's land.
Private property?
Yeah. It was comical though.
Yep. I have one question.
Go ahead.
The parking at Perry Square.
Right.
Now think about this, you guys. You got this beautiful park that you spent $1 million on. Got that fountain that is beautiful, and you're parking backwards. You can't pull up and look at the fountain at night. That's ridiculous. You gotta agree with me.
I don't know who. Well, that decision was made a long time ago by the downtown district and the administration at the time, and I wasn't on council when they voted for it. I don't like the idea.
You can't do what?
Well, you have to back in, so you can't.
Oh, I see.
You can't park in forward and enjoy the.
Yeah, I don't like those either.
No.
To be honest with
But you're taking like an elderly person down there who might enjoy to watch the kids, watch the fountain,
Yeah, but they can't now because
parking the other way. Now, come on, you guys, that makes 0 sense.
I never liked it.
It must create more. It creates more parking spots, but it's
No,
a pain.
you know what the logic was?
What?
You want to hear the logic, sir?
It's for safety. I know what it is.
Yeah, they claim that by opening up your doors, okay, the kids cannot run into the street.
Okay.
They have to run backwards, okay?
Okay.
It's also easier for you to pull out.
No.
That's what they claim because you're looking. But here's my point. It's got to be harder backing in, right?
Yeah.
So when we go to a mall or any church parking lot or anything, what do you do? Pull forward, right?
Yeah.
If you go to a parking ramp, they even tell you no backing in.
Right.
And they do that because they don't want you slowing down traffic,
Yeah.
even though people do it because it's easy. If you back in, when you're looking, you can see it's a lot easier than looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
But
It's hard to park. I can't. Sometimes I get out of my car. I'm like, oh my god.
But you agree, sir, we've always been trained since we were kids to pull into a spot.
A lot of people don't like those, and they don't like the roundabouts either.
Well, I'm not a roundabout fan.
Personally, I disagree with you on that. I do like
Well,
roundabouts.
you can like them all you want.
All the older guys, older folks, they don't like them. I mean, I'm almost an older folk, and I don't mind them as much as some of the older
They get
folks.
complicated after a while. Then you get 2 lanes and 3 lanes.
Yeah.
Go
Okay,
ahead, sir.
Sorry.
Okay, so if we were to pull in regularly where you could actually look at the fountain and look at the park,
You'd get a ticket probably.
out, okay, you're going to back out with you got your reverse lights on. They're white lights. Everybody knows you're backing out.
Right.
You've got 2 lanes over here where people can slide over. There's plenty of room. It's not like Waterford where they're doing that stupid thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I never was a proponent of backing in.
They were losing their mind in Waterford about them.
Well, yeah, I mean,
They were going nuts in Waterford.
Backing in is just dumb. Guys, if you can bring this up to city council, get it changed.
Well, they probably did 10 traffic studies to prove their point.
Or
yeah, I just don't like I never liked the idea because everywhere in the world you go, you pull in. They even tell you, if you go into some parking ramps or garages, they have a sign there, do no backing in.
I mean, it has to create more parking spots. That's the one good thing about it. It has to.
No, because John, think about no matter how you do it, front ways or back ways, it's the same number of spots.
Yeah, but it cuts it instead of this way. You only instead of your car, it's the,
If you do angle parking, John, don't matter if you pull in or back in, you're getting the same number of spots. You're just doing it from a different angle, okay? In other words, if you angle the parking spaces, I won't debate you on, lateral parking.
Yeah.
But if you do, I agree with, angle parking.
Yeah.
I don't agree with backing in though.
oh, okay.
Like what they have in Waterford maximizes the number of spaces you can get out of
Right.
a confined area.
Right.
You agree with that, right, sir?
No,
Oh, you like lateral parking, right?
no, it makes zero sense for backing in anywhere.
No, I'm saying if we were allowed to pull in, into those spaces and they were what I call, vertical spaces like they are now, but you pull in normally, don't back in,
Right.
you're getting the same number of
Yeah,
parking
but then,
places.
but the problem is though, you can't, it's hard to back out. Then you got people backing in.
John,
It's just, it's
John,
either way.
John,
It's,
you're,
To back out.
all your life you've been trained when you go to a mall to back out, right?
Guys, you and I can do it, but there's people up there that
So you know
can't.
what it is, John? You gotta wait while some person, it's harder, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, sir. It's probably tougher to back into a spot than pull in straight, correct?
I agree with all that
Let me
aspect.
talk to John for a second. He's
Go ahead.
wrong. Okay, John,
Okay.
listen to me for a second.
All right.
You're backing out, you got your white lights on, everybody knows what you're doing.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Backing out slowly, traffic can see you coming, especially around the park there.
Uh-huh.
All kinds of room, they can veer over if there's nobody coming, or just wait for you. It's no problem.
Right. And my point, I agree with what you're saying, but it's a lot harder for them to see when they back up to see. You can see them driving,
No.
but they can't see you coming.
How about when you're backing into the spot, you're gonna hit
Oh,
somebody's
I don't
car?
like. I agree with you on that. I don't like the back.
So I'd rather back out when I'm
I'd rather
leaving.
have just regular parking.
I mean, I like it when they go to the mall, you back out.
Yeah.
You take your time, put your lights on, back out, inch out. When you see nobody's coming, you pull up. And you got cameras now in the back of your car, right, sir?
Kaz, you nailed it right there. When you told him, I wish that guy next to you would listen. Yeah.
Well, he's allowed to disagree, but
Bright lights on, they know what you're doing. Come on.
No, I'm not. I'm not like disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it's. I mean, I'd rather pull in. I don't like the idea of backing in and then pulling up. I would rather see it that way, but for argument's sake, it's easier to pull out, than to back out.
I don't disagree with you, but
Yeah, that's
it's
all
the
I'm
backing
saying.
in takes up a lot of time.
Oh, I don't like it either. I hate
I mean,
it.
you watch people that can't park.
Yeah, I hate it.
Imagine if they did that at the mall or the parking ramp.
Oh yeah, that'd be it.
You'd be there all afternoon.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Kaz, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Can you bring that up to council?
I
Can you
can't.
discuss that with other council members and get this changed?
What I'll do is I'll bring it up during our study session in the back there
There you go.
and see if I got any support. I can tell you, it'll be a tough sell, but
It will probably.
we'll see. I personally, I think the downtown district, they got into the administration's ear. This is a number of years ago, and that's when the change was made. I don't know how they talked them into it, but
Now that you're talking about the parking over there, when they start putting all these new apartments and
yeah.
all these new restaurants or whatever, where's everybody going to park? I mean,
Well,
you can build market rate housing, but
I
if you got
think
no
what's gonna
market
happen,
rate
John-
parking,
John, I think what's gonna happen, they're looking at the old parking ramp again.
where? What?
They're looking at resurrecting the old parking ramp idea.
Where by McDonald's?
Yeah, or somewhere like that.
Yeah, I mean, that McDonald's is
Hey, I just come back from Chicago, John. There's no parking.
in Chicago?
No, there's none.
No, I know.
Some of the apartments actually have parking like on the first 4 levels,
Yeah,
but if they don't, then they got parking ramps under the street.
right.
And you just gotta pay a special fee, and
People don't realize how lucky we do have it regarding.
it was 20 cents. When I pulled in, it was $24 for an hour and a half.
I believe it. You still there, caller?
Yeah, I'm still here. I got one comment.
Go ahead.
I know your caller, John, not you, John, but caller, John, he has a bone to pick with the mayor for some reason. I don't know why.
What, the first guy?
This mayor's doing a fine job. You don't have to call him Rainbow Joe. I know that's like a conservative kind of Republican thing. They want to call him Rainbow Joe because he's supports gay rights. Well, so be it. That doesn't bother me one bit. But the guy is doing a fine job. We're not in as much debt as we thought, right? That's correct. Where we thought we were like millions in debt, and we're not that bad. Isn't that correct, Kaz?
Well, there are troubling signs for the future.
I think we're gonna be
And,
like 11 million in debt.
Pensions and all that, I know everything figures in.
Yeah, these are things that if our assessed tax base of the city doesn't increase, we will have some tough decisions in the future. I remember a friend of mine, Ronnie Comoric, he used to be the finance director here. A few years ago when I was controller, we sat down in his office and he goes, "You do know if we do everything right, we're still gonna be in trouble." What he meant by that was, unlike the county, where you got townships that are doing good, the city may be doing bad, but you got Summit and Harbor Creek and Mill Creek doing good.
Yeah.
The city, our assessed value is rather flat, and if it does increase, it's not increasing at a tremendous rate. So the next few years are gonna be telling. But yes, you're right, with added increases, pension costs, health coverage, just everyday expenses, it's gonna be a challenge for us to, we're gonna have to be very vigilant. That's why when things like this parking authority thing came up, it bugs me. It also bugs me when we got unpaid parking tickets. We can't afford to be generous and we can't afford to be lax anymore,
And I'm just gonna tell you right now, school district taxes are gonna be going up every year too.
And they have to because they've been ordered to.
The state is forcing them to raise, and they might even do it more than the law allows.
And sir, the only way you can really raise taxes is if you increase your assessed value. In other words, if people are moving in here, new businesses and everything, you would be collecting more revenue. And if you could keep your costs down, that's basically what Mill Creek and Summit are doing. But unfortunately for the city, we're losing value, but our costs aren't going away.
Well, the one advantage is that they have over us is half of their property is tax exempt. So.
Well, that's what our problem is,
Yeah,
too many tax exempt.
Half, 50%, so.
But, no, we're doing good, sir, but we gotta be very vigilant because we're far from out of the woods.
Just let me follow up with this. I never felt safer walking downtown than now. With the events that they have going downtown, with the food trucks and all that, it's great down there.
Well, that's okay, but now we're getting, some of our neighborhoods, we're gonna have to be very vigilant. And if we're not careful, we have people coming to council meetings complaining, and I drove down those areas. It's not pretty.
Well, you're right about the diverse, everybody used to complain about nothing going on in Erie. You're right about that because there are a lot of things that.
But now we gotta get the inner city straightened out.
There's certain areas of the city, but any big city has that problem.
I know, but you can't have gunfire
Oh, you
outside
can't,
your house,
no, you don't
okay?
wanna have that. No,
And we got right now 2, maybe 3 targets that, have to be taken care of. Otherwise, we're gonna be,
well, these bottle clubs are a huge problem. They've always been.
and that's a problem on the state level from licensing that we're gonna have to look at.
Correct.
I'm just talking about downtown. I've never felt safer. Like I said, you got the food trucks around the park. That's great. Really go to the basketball games, the baseball games.
Well, I can tell you, it's not as bad as it was, depending on, who's around. A couple years ago, it could get a little dicey at night, because you had a lot of, when young people are involved and they got a full tank of, liquid courage, it was getting a little shaky in some places downtown even.
Nah, Kaz, I never seen that.
Well, I'll tell you, it happened to me with my daughter. She had her, when she got married, she had her party here, bachelorette party. And it was a little dicey in the parking lot. And it was a good thing the police were around. But then we had 2 or 3 clubs downtown that had a reputation for being a little bit on the extreme. So I think if they control that, that's okay. What you don't want is like we had a club downtown. Remember, just about a year ago.
Recently, yeah, that shooting outside.
Yeah, you can't have any of that stuff because that spills over into outside areas.
And that was a bottle club type of situation.
And that's late at night, probably when people like us are home. So you don't see that, but if you're there late at night, you might see it.
And they go by a different set of rules.
But it is a lot better now down there.
I don't know if it's the city maintenance guys who are cleaning up, or that's part of the downtown partnership, but it's been, you see very little litter downtown.
Well,
either.
what it is
Somebody's doing something right
the
now.
downtown
You gotta
improvement.
agree with me.
The
I'll let you go. I talked long enough.
Thanks
Okay.
for calling.
Yeah, the partnership does do a lot down there.
They clean every day.
Yeah.
They have, the Bobcat that they go around.
But then
with.
that's the deal we gave them. We allowed them to tax themselves,
Yeah,
and in return, they hired people to,
right.
they assess themselves. Now, we still help them, but what we can't, take care of absolutely,
Right.
they do things that, probably we wouldn't do.
Well, see, now you have the downtown partnership and you have the EDDC doing their thing.
Well, I think once you see those things take hold,
Yeah,
people don't like the term they're, when they start taking over a town and cleaning it up.
you know, one thing I do kind of miss though are the block parties, the way they used to have them before. And, I realize, that setting them up and.
Well, I think the problem is, John, whenever you have a party and whenever you block a street, you gotta take in the whole situation. I hear people say this all the time. Well, it's only one day.
But people, they block them for other stuff though, Kaz. They block it for car shows. They
Well, yeah,
block-
but for a
They
while.
had this one down
But John,
here blocked.
but for a while, John, it was like you'd leave work here and you didn't know what street
Way
to
to go.
take.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Right.
and if you're a business, okay, I remember the lady who runs a coffee shop.
Yeah,
They interviewed her, about roaring the shore, right?
right.
And she said, doesn't help me when you put, bathrooms in front of my place and then you put the stage.
Right.
So you say, well, it's only 3 days for her. Okay, 3 days for that, 3 days for the Rip Fest.
3 days.
3 days for
And
celebrating.
that's not counting setup.
Yeah, so,
2 days to set up.
you're a business,
2 days to set up, 3-day event, 1 or 2 days to tear down.
so you're a business, right? Now, you're there all year,
Yeah.
right? And everybody goes, well, this is great for the community. Is it great for everybody?
Well,
So-
for,
I've been to other towns, John, where they kinda don't shut everything down. They try to come up with a plan that, makes everybody happy.
I heard that, let's say if the Plymouth had, they could generate revenue up to $30,000 to $50,000 a night for that particular bar with the, block parties when they used to have them outside of these bars. Now, they take them away from there. Now, these guys all pay into the downtown improvement district coffer. They're forced to pay these. So they take that away from the businesses and then they put them, and then they don't even give to the charities anymore. So any money and finances that they collect, they keep for themselves.
But what do you do with the other businesses that don't share in the block party?
Well, that's not a bank or,
Not only a
Tipples
bank,
Deli
how about
or-
a,
that's not part of their programming, that's not their.
I mean, if you got a business that needs, traffic, okay, and you shut down their access point, what,
There's pros and cons to everything,
wait, that's what I'm saying.
but the way,
But I've
that-
never seen a town like Erie, and I'm telling you.
the
this
way they
truthfully.
changed it was awful.
I've
in
never
my
seen,
opinion.
I've never seen a town like Erie, John,
Yeah,
to my knowledge,
yeah.
that shuts down the streets as much as we used to.
We still do. We still do a lot. Car shows.
Not as much though. I don't have anywhere near, I can remember when I was working downtown, when I was controller, and I go home at night, I had to remember where the block party was, where the,
Well, that's,
but if I
do
was,
they have to pay money to shut the street down? Is there a cost to that?
I think they pay a fee, but.
Yeah,
But, okay, so that makes us happy, but once again, I ask you, if you talk to some of the merchants that are down here 365, who don't sell beer,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
what do they do?
Well, see, that's what the EDDC, that's one of their That's one of their target markets, are other things other than alcohol-related activities.
But in this town, John, beer sells.
Of course they do.
You know what I was told in Milwaukee? I just toured Milwaukee.
The beer capital of the
Well, it
world.
used to be. Okay, they don't make beer there no more. They used to have 4 major breweries.
They don't do it there anymore?
Yeah, they had Pabst, Blatz, Schlitz, and Miller.
Right.
Okay, I think they may have one left, but most of them are brewed upstate more.
Yeah.
Not in the actual Milwaukee. Like for instance, when Pabst closed, they had 20-some buildings they had to do something with. One is now a hotel, but here's the problem. And I took a little ride on one of these like golf cart tours. They take you around the town, show you the sights.
Right.
Better than you could by driving, And so I was talking with the driver, and he goes, one thing about Milwaukee, and it's like Erie, he said, we love our beer. Okay?
Yeah.
So, they got Summerfest, but Summerfest, which is huge in Milwaukee, is in a park. Doesn't curtail any traffic.
Yeah.
Like Celebrate Erie, okay?
Yeah.
They have other things. They, even in Chicago, they don't close off the main street. They go to Grant Park or something.
Go ahead, caller. I love Grant Park, by the way. Go ahead, caller.
Got a couple of suggestions for some places the city could put up speed traps.
Okay.
Fairmont Parkway
I'd agree with you.
and East 38th Street between Pine Avenue and Old French Road.
They
Yep.
Yeah. They do set up a lot of their traps up at St. Luke's. What they do is they post up on Parade Boulevard because there's a hill there. You can't see the police,
Yeah.
and then they pull you into St. Luke's.
But they don't do enough of it there.
They do it quite a bit.
Well, not as much. 38th Street's going to be a problem.
Well, it's a speedway.
I've been traveling at 3 times a week for the last month or so. And
Yeah.
there's people doing 40 or better across that 25-mile zone.
Oh yeah, they blow past you, and then it gets even worse when you get on the other side of Pine Avenue. You head towards McClellan.
Plus, you got the college kids.
It's like an open war zone there.
And college kids are in there and doing their thing. And yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, it is. I would agree with you. They even got signs there warning you. What do they call it? A high. What's the sign say? Do you remember, sir?
High enforcement or high
They tell you that the people that are driving here are basically,
directed drivers or something like that, maybe.
yeah, the drivers are driving too fast, and they warn you because I mean, I've had people blow by me too, and
You know what they should put up there? You know how they do it on the highway? Those things that actually show your speed limit when you're flying by? That kind of
Got
tends
one of those
to...
down at Peninsula Drive.
if we could do it, and I don't think we can, and I'd be in favor of this, maybe speed cameras, but I don't think they're legal yet.
No,
That's
I
it.
mean, we can't afford that. We
Well,
can't,
I mean,
we can't even afford Relco.
You go to Cleveland. I just came through Cleveland, right?
Yeah?
And there are like 3 sites there around the ballpark and stuff. And your thing will tell you on your GPS,
Who's gonna pay for them?
huh?
Who's gonna pay for them?
The parking fines.
The ones we don't collect?
No, that would be done on a state level. John,
we have ambulances
John,
stop that.
Moving violations are on a state level,
Yeah,
and the cameras, if you get caught, okay, they do notify you. They're not like us, okay?
well, the state would have to do it if anybody was gonna do it. Go ahead, caller.
The state legislature should allow the city to have radar guns.
Well, that's never I heard that's gonna be a tough sell. But if they don't give us that, you ever been in a place where they have these speed cameras?
I've never seen those.
They're on the
Do
highway.
you go to Cleveland ever?
No, I've never been there. I haven't been there in years.
Okay, if you go to Cleveland right now, and I'll warn you, it's on the east side of Cleveland before you come into the actual corporate limit, I
We're
think.
talking 990?
990. And I think it's right around where the split is to Akron. But your GPS will go
Oh,
nuts.
271?
If you got a GPS,
Oh, no. Yeah, I know what you're talking
it'll warn you speed. Then there's another camera.
about. 71.
When you come under, if you go to the Cleveland Stadium, the baseball park, and you go on that curve where you go under the bridge,
Right, that's
there's a
71,
camera
yeah.
there too.
What they do is, correct me if I'm wrong, Kaz, and callers, let me know if you go underneath it and it takes a picture, because you see a bright light flash.
Yeah,
you're like, what the heck was that? That's what that is. Go ahead, Colin.
Another thing that I would suggest, not to do with the speed or anything, but I don't want to belittle the people that are on the scooters downtown and everything.
Yeah.
Have scooters, but I think they should have those orange flags up because they sit so low to the road, and sometimes they're hard to see.
I agree with you.
One of those flags that were sticking up 3-4 feet in the air would be a big help, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
You talk about that, I was in Milwaukee, and they have these scooters you can rent, and they're getting to be a problem.
Sure.
Because people can't see them, and B, they're knocking people over. But
They're dangerous.
yeah, if you don't have flags on there, that does get to be a little.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, yep.
But I agree with you. I think the speed is a problem, and unfortunately, nobody. You got two schools in that area.
Yes.
One public, one private, and
St. Luke's and what is it, Jefferson?
right, and then you got the VA hospital.
Yep. Yep.
Then it calms down. Then once they get on the other side of Pinedale and they're heading east there, that really opens up out by the post office or Tops.
Yes, it does. Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Hey,
Paul.
thanks for calling. No, he has a good point, and I think.
Yeah. Whatever happened, you guys, I think you brought it up. They did a study for a light at Ash and Pine. When you cross that road, Ash on Pine there.
Yeah, you know what
that's
what
like
happened
that's
there
like
was
a death trap.
that's a state road,
Okay.
and they
That's
had
Route 8.
they wouldn't okay it. And I did the traffic. I asked her. She did the study. The only thing they did was, and that's that multiple intersection you're talking about.
Yeah.
That you're right. Bobby Mursky and I did it together. We did Old French Road. We did Pine.
Yeah.
So the state put those turning arrows in on those, and then we pointed out that Pine Avenue at Ash,
Right.
where you got the three roads going into one another,
Right.
and you're coming out of that convenience store. The only thing they did, John, if you go up there, they moved the what do you call it, the stop area up a little bit so there's a better view. But the state would not allow, they said it didn't warrant a light. I disagree with them,
Right.
but
Another topic I wanted to discuss.
go ahead.
Ralph Pontillo
Yeah,
passed away. You know that, right?
I heard about it, yes.
Yeah. Now, where does that leave the Roar on the Shore and that whole aspect of everything? I wonder if they'll reappoint somebody or let it go by the wayside, or does the city stick with what we have here?
Well, look, if we decide to go, I'll tell you this, I'm not in favor of bringing them back unless they pay us what we need.
Well, for sure.
Okay, we are not in the, that gentleman called earlier and said, the mayor's doing a great job and all that. What did I say to him? We have to be very careful, right? We cannot give away stuff anymore.
We just lost $500,000. We can't do the free stuff. A lot of people.
Well, no,
bag on
you
Joe
got
City.
parking tickets unpaid. You got an assessed value of the city that is rather flat. You're taxing the same people. We got more nonprofits coming. Everybody says, well, it's great. Yeah, it's great.
Something's got to give.
Once again, it's great if you're a bar, but if you're not a bar, okay,
Something's got to give.
you got to find a way to.
It's something's got to. Eventually, I don't know. I don't see a solution.
They point out Sturgis. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with Sturgis. Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm sure there's a plan. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the town does not, they make up in some way, okay?
Well, the Sturgis's whole entire economy is based on
Yeah, but,
that.
yeah,
They get way more than what we get. Ours is compared to what they do. But it's like, I was down
but
here.
people leave the town though. I was told that people who live there leave the town.
Uh-huh.
They rent out their houses to people they can trust.
Yeah, right.
Like if they know you and
Yeah.
you're coming in every year, they rent it. They don't want any part of it, okay?
Yeah.
They get out and they leave.
Right.
I met many of the people coming back from Sturgis, great people.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm sure they got a plan, and you know, when you read about, we cannot, you know, I don't know how much the state police charge them, okay?
Right,
That's a whole different ballgame.
yeah,
You know, they can hide money at the state level that, you know,
right.
we have our costs, okay?
Right.
We can't apportion it over the whole state and hide it like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our costs are our costs.
Yeah, I mean, it was just sad to see. I mean, Ralph, I mean, I think it was a bee sting. And then, allergic reaction to a bee sting. I mean, that's terrible. Regardless of what went on between him and the city, that's terrible. But, I mean, hopefully it'll stick around. I mean, maybe all three of them can work. You know, you get the Harley folks, you get the Gears and Grub, and we get somebody from the Manufacturers Association to all work together.
Well, here's another thing you gotta keep in mind. If we start putting people downtown, living now,
Yeah. Do they want to hear that?
yeah. And I've had complaints from people who live in some of the apartments
Yeah.
that don't have air conditioning. Okay,
Well, yeah.
and they can't open up their window, okay?
Right.
And I'm not saying, look, we have to stop everything, but I think everything needs to be looked at with,
I'll tell you right now, if they have market rate housing and they start getting people with money,
they're not gonna want that.
heck, no, they're not gonna. That's it for that.
I mean,
They'll move it down to Liberty Park. It should be down there anyway.
well, I've been in Peoria, Illinois, Chicago, different places.
Yeah.
You don't have street festivals in front of the, you know,
Right. I mean, they have everything at the Navy Pier. A lot of their stuff goes.
or one of the parks, or,
I remember back as a kid going down to the dock when they had the stage on the dock. I mean, I remember the atmosphere. You got all the boats parked out there.
yeah, and it didn't cause as much grief down
And
there.
that was the roar. That was literally on the shore.
And that was,
It wasn't the roar, but it was the Erie days. But they had the dock on the stage, and you know all the businesses down there. But the one thing I do like up here is that it's handicapped accessible. It brings some people here too. But that's back in the good old days when they used to have rides. They used to have all kinds of. You could throw the darts and you'd win a stupid mirror, or you could do. It was a carnival atmosphere.
but then people got mad about that.
Why?
I don't know, but they did. I know they
It
started complaining it was more carny, less locals.
I mean, that's great. You could
Well,
have.
the thing is made a genesis. When Lou started it, it was local.
Okay.
You had local, like you would have various restaurants, various organizations. You had, for instance, you had the Sebby Mazzini was down there, the Wolves Club, the Stan's Dinette, things like that. You had all the churches of various denominations,
Right.
of all ethnic persuasions. It was great. I mean, you had all kinds of food down there.
Yeah.
Then it went carny style, and people said, "This is not what we want."
I love the carnival.
Well, you did, but other people then they decided let's bring it back and make it eerie again.
I mean, that's what brought all the kids. That all the.
What's the biggest complaint about Roaring the Shore? It's not local merchants, right?
Right. Well, what local merchants were here for? I mean,
I can tell you in the old days when the first Celebrate Erie was,
yeah.
there was an opportunity for. They don't exist a lot of them anymore.
All you do is just have food.
But you had Stan's Dinette and all of them, okay? You had various craft people, stuff like that.
Can't
okay?
you have the rides and the carnival atmosphere, but just
But what they did was.
use our own food? We didn't have people that have food trucks.
But
back
what
then.
sometimes happens though, is that, and it happened with Roaring the Shore. When you bring in a carnival, they tell you, you gotta do business our way or we're not coming,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
You ever see what happens at the Civic Center?
When?
Nobody ever notices this.
What?
You can ask Casey about it, but when like Disney on Ice comes in,
Yeah.
or the circus, they put up their stuff.
Oh yeah, they sell their own stuff. Yeah.
And they tell you,
Kind of like so the otters do the same thing. They have the
no, the otters don't shut out the
Oh right.
food vendors inside.
Oh, they sell their own food.
Who?
The ice.
Well, when they come in, they got cotton candy,
Oh, they sell their own stuff.
their toys, their cotton candy, their popcorn.
Oh, wait a minute. They're,
Yeah,
the
and that's part of
circus
the
sells
deal.
their own candy and
Well,
popcorn?
the circus is gone now.
I know, but I'm saying that's an
But
example.
like Disney on Ice, I can remember when
And they sell their own, they allow that?
well, you know I knew that? Because when my kid was in various groups, we worked the concessions, that's who works the concessions.
Yeah, they get cut, they get
Yeah,
money.
we get a cut of the profits.
Yeah.
And- Okay, basically, when they came in, we were rendered worthless, because that was a deal to sign a contract.
You know, hold on one second, caller. I just wanted to say one thing. Before we go off the air, I wanted to make sure we get it. I want to invite everybody. I've been asked to do a celebrity bartending thing for the Sisters of St. Joseph Network. So from 7:30 to 8:30 this Friday at the Nova Aurora, I'm going to invite everybody down there. I'll be pouring drinks, so you know what that means, Kaz.
Ask for something complicated.
It's party time. Go ahead, caller.
I just had a question for Kaz. For city council meetings, has that Mr. McDonald been showing up? Have you heard anything about him?
No,
Gentlemen, I haven't seen him in quite a long time.
I know who I can ask about it. I think he had some health issues. I'm trying to remember, there were two of them who used to come. There was Mr. McDonald and,
I serve with I know who you're talking about, and I'm going to give you an update.
oh, go, give me an update then.
I serve with Mr. McAdory on the Human Relations Commission. So, Mr. McAdory, he's lost a lot of weight. I'm not sure if he was the health or he got the stomach thing.
Yeah.
But he's lost a lot of weight, but he is still out there being proactive in the community. But you're right, Mr. McDonald.
For a while he disappeared and then he came back, but I got his number. I'll find out, okay?
Yeah, I watched the reruns and I haven't seen him in quite a while.
No, well, a couple of times I went into his neighborhood because he had some issues, and they're good issues, you know, that he wants to clean up his neighborhood, and but I haven't seen him, and I have his number, but I thought he had a little health issue before. I'll kind of check in and give you an update.
I'll tell you what, that area up there, just get rid of that bottle club, and that's a start. That thing has got to go.
Well, yeah, here's our problem. We have to be vigilant, and but we have to work with the state. And I've been talking to our reps about what the rules are on bottle clubs, and what we could do to tighten up our rules, because they basically license them. But they are going to be a problem, and if you've seen some of the ads that they're putting out on social media, it's not what you want to see in your neighborhood.
Well, hey, you do have some businesses up there. You got convenience stores and.
Oh yeah, and they're and not to mention people that, like this one woman was on TV yesterday. And she's showing them people doing bodily functions in her driveway, and.
I seen that last night.
Yeah, that's, come on, I'm going, and that place, that one club used to be a problem for many years.
It was a bar, wasn't it?
Yeah, and now they're moving over in the old Warsaw Cafe.
They're there now.
And
I can tell you right now, the people in that neighborhood and the other businesses and clubs are not happy.
No, and I think, we have to be, if we're gonna clean up our neighborhoods and bring people back in, nobody wants to have, noise, gunfire, or anything like that.
Well, we're out of time, caller. Thanks for calling.
Another thing, if we ever get these nonprofits start paying their fair share and helping us out with police.
That's...
Yeah, we can ask them, but it's got to happen on the state level, and
I'll give you
I see very little.
A quick 30-second answer to why that'll never happen.
Share this and do the right thing.
The majority of state representatives are from rural areas, and if they go in there and start taxing churches and taxing...
Yep, they got a problem with it. I know it, John.
They're toast.
A problem with that.
Well, nobody really wants to tax.
If they tax the churches, they tax their centers. Anywhere in these rural areas, if their representatives, because that's their only base.
Yeah, well,
that's where all their people hang out. Is that?
But here's they get state police protection, okay? You know, we should be able to charge a public safety fee at least.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, to cover, just cover our costs of our police and fire. That's the biggest part of our budget.
In-kind contributions only go so long.
That's true.
At least tax the profit centers like the hospitals and the universities.
Well, actually,
Making the money, at least tax them.
Absolutely correct.
the two hospitals,
Little church.
Vincent and Hammond do pay taxes.
More has more.
I agree, but they're at least paying half.
So it
We don't.
isn't enough. They should pay up.
Yeah, but you know what we get out of Gannon and Lecom and Mercyhurst?
They could pay more because they're all
Maybe
making
a
plenty
cop
of money.
car once.
I agree with you,
I
but
just took my son over to Gannon. I left there with a headache.
Well, no, I
That's
mean,
how much they charge.
look, I'm not happy what Hammond pays,
Yeah.
but they're paying half, and they agreed to pay half.
Do you know how
at
much it
Vincent.
costs to go to 1 year at Mercyhurst?
I know what,
$40,000.
you know how much I paid when I went to Gannon?
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
All right, caller, we're gonna leave on that note. I think we're out of time, but call back next week and we'll
and
continue.
we'll try to get you an update on Mr. McDonald.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Kaz, don't forget about that parking around the Perry Square there.
I'm gonna bring it up at our next,
Yep, write it
Okay,
down and bring it up.
but, we'll see what I get for his,
Get an
Thanks.
update.
All right, thanks for calling.
Yep, thanks guys. Appreciate it.
And on that note, I want to say hi to my Aunt Cheryl. She's in town from Buffalo today, so she might be watching.
he's from the big city of
She's
Buffalo.
in Buffalo,
She's a Buffalonian?
Buffalonian. Hit
Did
the
she
music.
bring some
She wants to
Ted's
go to the
hot
Bills game.
Huh?
She does, what kind? She brings these hot dogs that are like, she thinks they're like better than Smith's. I tell her, you're crazy.
Are they Ted's?
I don't know, I'm gonna have to ask her.
Or the
Ted's.
Malecki, maybe Malecki
I
dogs?
can't remember, but they're good, but
Ask her
they're,
if they're Ted or
they're
Malecki.
good, but they're not Smith's good.
No, but, they're second best.
She said they are good.
Hey,
They're not Smith's good.
I was in Chicago and they tell you Portillo's is the best.
Yeah,
But I told Sean out at, Sarah's,
yeah.
Smith still rules.
Oh, for sure. Go ahead, Mike. I gotta get out of this place.
Doot, doot, doot. What? When you see her, here, give me that paper. And then come back and report to me.
You have been watching Taxpayers Hotline, recorded live from the fabulous city of Erie, Pennsylvania.